They never knew she was drone strike expert until one perfect shot silenced the range. This story begins at Creech Air Force Base in Nevada, where Technical Sergeant Lisa "Echo" Martinez was completing another routine day maintaining the computer systems that kept America's most advanced military operations running. At 29 years old, Lisa had spent the last 6 years working as an IT specialist, troubleshooting network problems and updating software for pilots who flew missions she was never supposed to discuss with anyone. But even her closest colleagues had no idea they were working alongside the most precise drone strike operator in U.S. military history. "Martinez, we need you to check the targeting systems on Workstation 7, called Master Sergeant Dave Bulldog Thompson, pointing toward the bank of computers that controlled long-range surveillance operations. The pilots are reporting some lag in their video feeds." Lisa nodded and gathered her diagnostic equipment, approaching the workstation with the same methodical efficiency she applied to every technical problem that crossed her desk. To everyone watching, she looked like a competent IT technician doing routine maintenance work. What they couldn't see was the way Lisa's eyes automatically cataloged the tactical display data scrolling across multiple screens, the way she unconsciously evaluated targeting parameters and threat assessments, or the muscle memory that made her hands move across the control interfaces with the fluid precision of someone who'd once guided precision strikes from thousands of miles away. "Martinez," Sergeant Thompson continued, "make sure you don't access any of the classified targeting protocols. That stuff is way above your clearance level." Lisa almost smiled at the irony. If only Thompson knew that she'd written some of those protocols during her previous assignment, or that she held clearances for operations so classified that acknowledging their existence was a federal crime. But Lisa had learned to hide her expertise behind a carefully constructed facade of technical competence and professional distance. For 6 years, she'd been just another IT specialist who kept the computers running while other people made the life and death decisions. Lisa "Echo" Martinez wasn't just another computer technician who'd chosen military service over civilian employment. She was former Staff Sergeant Lisa Martinez, the youngest drone pilot to achieve over 200 confirmed precision strikes, and the operator who'd developed targeting techniques that were still classified at the highest levels of military intelligence. But 4 years ago, Lisa had been involved in an operation that went so wrong that the Pentagon had been forced to bury not just the mission details, but the operators who'd carried it out. The official records showed that Technical Sergeant Martinez had always been assigned to IT support, but the truth was that she'd been one of the military's most skilled remote warfare specialists. The incident had been called Operation Desert Echo, a deep strike mission against high-value targets in territory where American forces officially didn't operate. Lisa had been piloting a Predator drone from a classified facility, conducting precision strikes with surgical accuracy, when intelligence failures had led to civilian casualties that could have sparked international incidents. The Pentagon's solution had been to transfer Lisa to technical support, bury her operational records, and ensure that her expertise in drone warfare would never again be used in ways that could compromise national security. Lisa had accepted the reassignment without protest, partly because she understood the political necessities and partly because the guilt over Operation Desert Echo had made her question whether she wanted to continue making life-and-death decisions from behind a computer screen. For 4 years, she'd been content to work on network maintenance and software updates, using her technical skills to support operations without being directly responsible for their outcomes. But today, that carefully maintained distance was about to be shattered. "Martinez," Sergeant Thompson's voice carried new urgency. "We've got a situation developing. I need you to drop everything and report to the operations center immediately." Lisa looked up from her diagnostic work, recognizing the tone that meant something had gone seriously wrong. "What kind of situation, Sergeant?" "The kind where we need every available person with technical expertise. There's been an incident at the training range, and our drone operations have been compromised." Lisa arrived at the operations center to find controlled chaos. Multiple screens displayed tactical information, radio chatter filled the air with urgent communications, and senior officers clustered around situation maps with expressions that suggested the crisis was escalating beyond normal parameters. Colonel James Hawk Patterson, the base commander, was coordinating response efforts when he noticed Lisa entering the operations center. "Sergeant Martinez, good. We need your technical expertise. We've got a major problem with our drone training exercise." Lisa approached the main tactical display, where she could see real-time footage from multiple unmanned aircraft operating over the Nevada test range. "What's the nature of the technical problem, sir?" "It's not just technical," Colonel Patterson replied grimly. 20 minutes ago, we lost communication with a group of special operations trainees conducting a high-value target simulation. Last contact indicated they were under attack by hostiles who'd infiltrated the exercise area. Lisa studied the tactical display with eyes that had analyzed similar situations countless times. "Sir, are we dealing with actual hostile forces?" Major Sarah Viper Collins, the operations officer, stepped forward with obvious frustration. "That's what we're trying to determine. The exercise was designed to simulate real combat conditions, but someone appears to have turned it into actual combat. Our trainees are pinned down in terrain that makes conventional rescue extremely difficult." Lisa's training automatically kicked in as she analyzed the situation. The tactical display showed rugged desert terrain with multiple defensive positions, limited approach routes, and terrain features that would make ground-based rescue operations both time-consuming and dangerous. "What about drone support?" Lisa asked, though she already suspected the answer. Colonel Patterson's expression darkened. "That's our biggest problem. The pilots running drone overwatch have been having targeting difficulties all morning. The software glitches you were supposed to fix have gotten worse, and now our operators can't maintain reliable weapons locks on hostile positions." Lisa looked at the drone feed displays, immediately recognizing targeting system malfunctions that she'd encountered and solved during her operational career. The problems weren't random technical failures. They were the result of electronic warfare countermeasures that required specific technical adjustments to overcome. "Colonel, how long do the trapped trainees have?" "Intelligence suggests the hostile forces are planning to move the captured personnel within 30 minutes. After that, we lose any realistic chance of rescue." Lisa felt the familiar weight of tactical responsibility settling on her shoulders, the feeling she'd spent 4 years trying to avoid. But watching the drone feeds, seeing the positions of friendly forces who needed help, she realized that some skills were too important to keep buried. "Sir, I might be able to help with the targeting systems." Major Collins looked at her skeptically. "Martinez, this isn't routine IT support. We're talking about precision drone strikes in a combat environment. Our operators need targeting solutions that can overcome advanced jamming systems." Lisa met Collins's gaze with steady confidence. "Ma'am, I understand the technical requirements. I can fix the targeting problems." Colonel Patterson made a command decision that would either save the trapped trainees or end his career. "Sergeant Martinez, you have authorization to access whatever systems you need to restore drone targeting capability. Major Collins will provide operational oversight." Lisa sat down at the primary drone control station, her hands finding the interfaces with muscle memory that 4 years of technical support hadn't erased. The main display showed feed from 3 Predator drones maintaining overwatch over the exercise area, but their targeting systems were indeed compromised by electronic warfare countermeasures. "Ma'am," Lisa said to Major Collins, "the jamming signatures I'm seeing are sophisticated. These aren't training scenarios. Someone is using military-grade electronic warfare equipment." Major Collins studied the diagnostic data Lisa was pulling up. "Martinez, how do you know so much about electronic warfare signatures? That's not typically covered in IT training." Lisa's fingers continued working across the control interfaces as she made the technical adjustments needed to restore targeting capability. "I've studied these systems extensively, ma'am. I know how to compensate for jamming effects." What Lisa didn't mention was that she was using techniques she'd developed during Operation Desert Echo, methods for penetrating electronic defenses that were still classified at levels that Major Collins didn't have clearance to access. Martinez, you're restoring targeting accuracy faster than our best drone operators. Where did you learn these techniques? Lisa paused her work, realizing that her technical expertise was revealing capabilities she'd been ordered to keep secret. But looking at the tactical display, where friendly forces were surrounded by hostiles who were clearly not part of any training exercise, she made a decision that would change everything. Major, I need to tell you something that's going to sound impossible. What is it, Sergeant? 4 years ago, I wasn't assigned to IT support. I was Staff Sergeant Lisa Martinez, drone strike specialist with over 200 confirmed precision strikes. I was transferred to technical support after a classified operation went wrong. Major Collins stared at Lisa like she'd spoken a foreign language. Martinez, that's impossible. Your service record shows continuous IT assignment. Ma'am, my operational records were classified and buried, but right now, those trapped personnel need someone who can guide precision strikes through electronic warfare environments. I can do that. Lisa turned back to the control interface and began implementing targeting solutions that demonstrated skills no IT technician should have possessed. Her hands moved across the controls with practiced efficiency, adjusting parameters and compensating for jamming effects with techniques that took most drone operators years to master. Jesus Christ, Major Collins whispered, watching Lisa work. You're operating these systems like you've been doing it for years. I have been, ma'am, just not recently. Lisa's restoration of the targeting systems took exactly 17 minutes, a technical achievement that should have required hours of troubleshooting by specialized technicians. But more importantly, her modifications had given the drone operators capabilities that exceeded their original specifications. Martinez, Colonel Patterson's voice carried new authority. Major Collins tells me you've not only fixed our targeting problems, but enhanced our operational capabilities beyond normal parameters. Yes, sir. The drones now have precision targeting through electronic warfare environments that would normally defeat conventional systems. Colonel Patterson studied the tactical displays, where the improved drone capabilities were providing clear imagery and targeting data despite ongoing jamming attempts. Sergeant, Major Collins also tells me you claim to have operational experience in drone strike operations. Lisa looked at the displays showing trapped American personnel surrounded by hostile forces who were clearly prepared for combat operations that went far beyond training exercises. Sir, I can prove my operational experience. Put me on the controls for the precision strikes needed to extract those personnel. Martinez, if you're claiming false operational credentials. Colonel, those people are going to die unless someone can guide precision strikes through jamming that's defeating your regular operators. I can do that. Colonel Patterson made another command decision that would either save lives or destroy careers. Sergeant Martinez, you are authorized to conduct drone strike operations under emergency protocols. Major Collins will maintain oversight. Lisa settled into the drone control seat with the confident posture of someone returning home after a long absence. The tactical displays showed 3 hostiles' positions that needed to be neutralized to create an extraction corridor, but the electronic jamming made conventional targeting nearly impossible. Echo 1, this is Control. Lisa's voice carried the calm authority that separated experienced operators from trainees. I have clear targeting data on all hostile positions, beginning precision strike sequence. What followed was a demonstration of drone warfare mastery that Operations Center personnel would discuss for years. Lisa guided 3 separate Hellfire missiles through electronic jamming, terrain obstacles, and defensive countermeasures with surgical precision that eliminated hostile threats without endangering friendly personnel. Control, this is Echo 1. All hostile positions neutralized. Extraction corridor is clear. The silence in the Operations Center lasted for nearly 30 seconds as everyone processed what they'd just witnessed. Lisa had conducted precision strikes through electronic warfare environments that had been defeating experienced operators, and she'd done it with an efficiency that suggested capabilities far beyond what her official records indicated. Sergeant Martinez, Colonel Patterson's voice carried a mixture of admiration and suspicion. That was the most precise drone operation I've seen in 15 years of overseeing these missions. Where exactly did you learn those techniques? Lisa remained at the control station, her hands still moving across interfaces with practiced efficiency. As she guided the drones through post-strike assessment, the tactical display showed successful extraction of all friendly personnel, but more importantly, it revealed the true nature of the threat they'd been facing. "Colonel," Lisa said, analyzing the post-strike intelligence, "these weren't training opponents. The electronic warfare signatures, the defensive positions, the tactical coordination. This was a real hostile force that had infiltrated the exercise area." Major Collins studied the intelligence data Lisa was extracting from the drone feeds. "Martinez, how are you analyzing tactical intelligence this quickly?" "That requires specialized training." Lisa looked at the intelligence displays, then at Colonel Patterson, knowing that her next words would either restore her operational status or end her military career entirely. "Sir, I need to tell you about Operation Desert Echo." Colonel Patterson's expression changed immediately. Operation Desert Echo was classified far above his clearance level, but he'd heard whispers about drone operations that had been so successful and so sensitive that the operators had been reassigned to prevent security breaches. "Sergeant, that operation is classified beyond your clearance level." "Sir, I was the primary drone operator for Desert Echo. Staff Sergeant Lisa Echo Martinez, 200 confirmed precision strikes, developer of electronic warfare penetration techniques that are still classified." Lisa pulled up her personal authorization codes, clearances that hadn't been revoked, just buried, and accessed files that proved her operational history. The evidence was undeniable. The IT technician who'd been maintaining their computers was one of the most skilled drone operators in U.S. military history. "My God," Major Collins whispered, studying Lisa's real service record. "You're the operator who developed the targeting algorithms we've been using for the past 4 years." "Yes, ma'am. After Desert Echo, the Pentagon decided my skills were too sensitive for continued operational use. I was transferred to technical support to maintain plausible deniability." Colonel Patterson was already on his secure phone, calling Pentagon officials who would need to authorize Lisa's return to operational status. But more immediately, he was realizing that the base had been under actual attack, not just dealing with a training exercise gone wrong. "Martinez, if what happened today was a real hostile infiltration, then your intervention didn't just save training personnel. It prevented a successful attack on classified operations." Lisa nodded, studying intelligence feeds that showed the sophistication of the hostile force that had been defeated. "Sir, this was a coordinated attempt to gather intelligence on our drone operations. The electronic warfare signatures suggest foreign military involvement. And you stopped it single-handedly." "I did what my training prepared me to do, sir. Sometimes the most important missions are the ones that officially never happened." 6 months later, Major Lisa Echo Martinez stood in the briefing room at Creech Air Force Base, addressing a class of drone operators who studied every word she spoke with the intensity of students learning from a living legend. "The most important lesson I can teach you," Lisa told her students, "is that drone warfare isn't about the technology. It's about understanding that every decision you make from behind these controls has real consequences for real people." One of the young operators raised his hand. "Major, what was it like to be away from operational duties for 4 years?" Lisa smiled, thinking about the journey from buried operational records to acknowledged expertise. "It taught me that being grounded doesn't mean you stop being an operator. It means you're preparing for the moment when your skills matter most." After the briefing, Lisa walked out to the Drone Operations Center where her personal workstation waited for the afternoon's classified missions. The same computers she'd once maintained as an IT technician now responded to her commands as operational tools. Technical Sergeant Thompson was conducting pre-mission checks, and he saluted as Lisa approached. "Everything looks good, Major. Your systems are ready for mission deployment." Lisa returned the salute, then smiled at the irony. "Thanks, Dave. Funny how perspective changes when you know what someone's really capable of." Major, can I ask you something? Did you ever regret those 4 years in technical support? Lisa looked at the tactical displays, then at the young operators preparing for missions that would protect American interests around the world. Dave, I learned something during those 4 years. Being an operator isn't just about conducting strikes. It's about understanding every system, every protocol, and every consequence. Those 4 years made me a better operator, not a lesser one. Lisa sat down at her control station and began the pre-flight sequence that would connect her to unmanned aircraft operating in classified locations around the world. But she carried with her the knowledge that legends aren't just made in operational assignments. They're preserved by people who remember that some skills are too important to lose, even when they have to be hidden.